The Splinter Cell series has enjoyed success in the past, but after Double Agent disappointed some, it let the series' fate up in the air. Enter Splinter Cell Conviction, a game marketed by Ubisoft as the next big thing in stealth. Let's get one thing out of the way. Conviction is in no way a stealth game, but rather a tactical shooter. Levels are mostly small and focus on the elimination of your enemies. Earlier titles had downright overwhelming amounts of equipment, but here all you have is 2 firearms and a few grenade types. Beside your mission objective, there are also certain permanently active objectives that reward you with credits to spend on weapons and weapon upgrades, and since stashes are a frequent find, it helps add some variety by encouraging you to play differently, even if simply by using another weapon. As Sam Fisher no longer has to carry his weight in armor, movement is so fast it feels downright loose. Given that he wasn't exactly a moving brick in the previous game, and that environments are still generally small, the result is a slightly shorter, albeit more concentrated and intense experience. Avoiding confrontation is now impossible since enemies have a tendency to crowd the rather small levels. There isn't even an option for non-lethal takedowns. Staying behind cover and taking out your enemies is the only way to go in Conviction, and despite having much less depth than previous titles, it's still a satisfying endeavor. In fact, by delivering a stealthy takedown, you gain the ability to mark and execute, which allows you to mark a few enemies and then press a key to take out all your marked targets automatically. It might seem like cheating, but given that Fisher is no longer a walking refrigerator, it helps in those instances where crowd control is a must. In fact, there is even a flashback level where you save a fellow soldier in Iraq, where there is no such thing as stealth, but it's easily the worst in the entire game, below even the one level where being detected is an instant game over. The story is a typical conspiracy thriller that has the US in peril, which is what you'd expect from a Tom Clancy title. It's occasionally predictable and mostly conventional, but it's done well enough to hold your attention. Graphically, Splinter Cell Conviction looks great. Animation and models are decidedly above average, and the environments themselves look quite good. The transition to black and white that indicates being hidden is an effect you'd almost want to turn off, if only it wasn't so useful. Fleeting text on the walls that indicates objectives is a cool touch, even if it is a bit silly. However, no matter what system and settings you run the game on, the frame rate will dip at random. These dips don't affect the experience significantly, but it's distracting. However, unlike Assassin's Creed 2, the icons and prompts actually represent the keys you're supposed to press. It's not an ideal PC version, but it could have been worse. Splinter Cell Conviction is well-paced, intriguing, and looks great, but the performance is somewhat erratic and the game itself is shallow compared to the rest of the series. If you don't mind the focus on action, you'll have fun, but if you're looking for a new stealth experience, go away. It's enjoyable, but in no way is it a stealth game.